It's an education that leads to analyze a situation and to take a stand on different kinds of situations that we confront with and find answers to the various problems and situations that exist, and especially for the cause of the poor. And I think these three great men had something in common, and that is they dedicated their lives for the upliftment of the poor. Starting with Claude, and you know, Claude began the ICUP. I mean, not he began the ICUP, but the ICUP was there, but he gave a new twist to the whole of ICUP, which means the students came in there and really analyzed and threadbare looked at various kinds of situations and brought out many kinds of writings. And today we have such eminent men. And if you only know, I have a friend of mine from the ICUP days, is Mr. Babu Matthew, who has been a leader for various industries and organized labor, and even today, he's of the same age as myself, 70. He is still leading different courses that would help people and giving directions to a college like Law College in Bengaluru, NLSUI, National Law College of Bangalore University. So you see that there are not only that kind of people, we also have some eminent people here who have dedicated their lives. They could have done a big job, they could have gone abroad, and they had so many other situations with them, but yet, because of the intervention of the Lord, they changed their direction. And similarly, we find, if we have to talk about Fr.Manu, I think you can produce volumes. There's already one volume which is released, but much more than that, the kind of impact that he has had would be unthinkable. He could have, after his doctorate in economics, he was also a student par excellence at Delhi School of Economics, and still he did not opt for teaching profession, but he opted for working for the people. And he was instrumental in so many ways. If I have to say that he was instrumental in starting of various institutions for supporting the life of the poor, we could say he was the pioneer in it. He was the one who did a lot of work with budget analysis, which is being done even till today in Delhi. And he has been one instrumental in starting the social watch in Tamil Nadu here in Chennai. And he had a fantastic idea of seeing how much of the money which the government proposes that they are spending this money for poor people, and how much does it reach. And you will be surprised if 10 to 15% reach the poor. But all the money goes into salaries of various kinds of people who are supposed to be distributing this money, but money never reaches the poor. And it is this kind of an analysis that is given at that level, which helps the various kinds of NGOs to think about how best they can utilize this kind of funds, and if those funds never reach the poor, fight for it. Nothing comes on a platter to the poor especially, and one has to fight and get their rights, and rights are never given again on a platter. So he was there. He was instrumental in also, along with various other NGOs in Tamil Nadu, to form an association wherein they could also look at the budgets and various other ways in which we can help out and reach out to the people. And he was a silent worker in really going closer to the poor. He not only talked about the poor, but he reached out to several poor people through financial help and through various other ways. And he was a mentor to various poor children and youth. And he was a mentor in the research center that had begun in 2014 and ended with him in 2018. And I guess his work would carry on and go forward. To talk about Fr.Ambrose Pinto, Fr.Ambrose was born in 1950 and he died last year in 2018. During all these years, in the beginning, he began as an ordinary school teacher. But the spirit with which he was moving, he continued to do his work in political science, later on his doctorate, and after that he started teaching. He is one who entered into a teaching profession and at the same time never gave up writing, never gave up criticizing, never gave up standing up for the kinds of the rights, and especially for the Dalits and the marginalized, the SCs and the STs. His doctorate was also on the SCs. Now you see, he wrote several books. He must have written his own 5 books, and he must have had edited about 15 books and scores of articles, hundreds of articles I could say, was written by him. And at various levels, he was daring. None of us, even today, we find it very difficult in this context to talk about what is right and to criticize. And I found, like for example, the latest judgment that we had with regard to Ayodhya, many are not, even the opposition politicians are not daring to talk against what has happened. They are claiming everything is right. And I do not know whether you all agree to it. I surely don't agree to it. But to stand up and talk, you need courage. And especially today, I do not know who is here, but at the same time, even to talk about it is quite difficult.